It's a trap, you walked right into the hate. All over a new king that's face is just replaced. It's all the same, you still be ruled by force. And no matter who it is, they'll still carry on the torch. Just a lie, cheat, steal, half of what you make. Taxation is theft, it's time to vacate the state. Newsflash, all your cash is an IOU. From killers who really do steal from you. Inflation is a weapon used by every nation who says that they're saving the world through lies. If they disguise and pass off as bravery, well, I got news, debt is slavery. It don't matter who's madder, a new master don't matter. When they both want the same, the state don't play no games. They got you trying to survive and put you on sides and ready to kill each other. That's conquer and divide. It's all for show, or for hyper-control.
Bones and Tubs Night Boy.
And we're back with another episode of Bones and Tubs. We're here with you on this Sunday night to give you everything you want to hear and more.
Late.
It's the late show. You know,
You don't have that.
we moved the schedule, so this one's coming on, tasty, fresh, and late.
It's got to be done.
It has to be done. But we're back, like we always are,
How you guys doing?
week
Anybody
after
been
week
to,
after week,
Anybody been to Target lately? Or
Sheesh.
I just want to know what that Minneapolis Facebook marketplace looks like.
And that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today, because it is going on right now. It has been going on for 3 days?
Yeah, I think so. Going on.
What day was I'm trying to remember what day that was. That I feel like it started before George Floyd was murdered, but because there was other instances of things going on, but that was the one that
Set it off.
yeah. Before we get to talk about that though, we gotta do our usual
Business.
business. So before we get started on what we're gonna talk about today, we'd like to give a shout out, thank Blooded Brave for letting us use his music on the show.
Intro and outro. Check out his albums on YouTube. Blood of the Brave. BloodofTheBrave.com. Blood of the Brave at Bandcamp. Instagram. Facebook. Twitter. Blood of the Brave.
So
He's
check
a
all
beast.
that out.
Add him, buy his music, let him know we sent you. If you like the visual art, JNY5 on Instagram. JNY5_. Also, JNY5 Internet Studios. That's how I'm supposed to refer to him from now on.
That's fine. Yes, he has applied for a limited liability company. He's now official.
Consolidated, legitimized. He's ready.
He is ready.
He's a man with a plan.
And he gives us that sweet, sweet art. As time goes on, I'd like to get a couple of those blown up and put on the walls.
Oh my God.
Find a couple episodes that we're really, cool about and just pop them, frame them up.
I totally agree.
Put them next to the logo,
Check out his website also. It's a Spotify page. Oh, did I say that right? Spotify? Is that a thing? No.
No, you wouldn't have a Spotify page. Shopify.
Yeah. Check out his Shopify, JNY5.com.
He's a visual artist, not a musician. But we are on Spotify.
We are. We're on Spotify. We're on iTunes, Google Podcasts. We're on everything.
Everything.
Oh, man. The last week shout out for the YouTube page. We got 30 people.
Yeah.
That's good. We need to continue that. Anybody in the sound of our listening voices, this is the Bones and Tubs podcast. I'm Bones, he's Tubbs. Hello.
I'm gonna probably do this every week now because after my figuring out last week, if this is your first episode, welcome.
Enjoy what's about to happen to you.
Yeah, we are how would you say,
multinational corporation? Not really.
No, not really.
We're a self-funded, user-funded.
We're a user-funded podcast that we like to talk about
trolls.
We like to talk about the occult. We like to talk about conspiracies,
magic.
We're those types. We talk about current events, which is what tonight's episode is about.
Yeah.
Because we talk, and the way things go is usually after our episode, we record our episode, we spend the next week kind of
mulling it over.
Yeah, playing psychic handball with each other.
Putting together the best diamond for you.
Yeah, trying to figure out what we're going to do. And we had, up until today, we had a couple ideas in mind of what we wanted to do this week. But then I came to him and was like, hey, I feel like we kind of just got to do one about what's going on right now.
Because it's fucking everywhere.
Yes.
And it's important.
Nationwide.
We also try to hit it from that perspective. If you would compare us to the media, I watched a CNN clip earlier where they're standing in front of a burning building while people are taking shit out of it. You know, and they're like, well, these protests are, you know, pretty much nonviolent. The fucking building's on fire, douchebag.
Yeah.
And then Fox is like, anti-Trump protesters demonstrated and stealing. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Does nothing to do with left or right.
Yeah, and I say that's probably how you got to give props a little bit to, and I don't normally do this, to social media, because people have been posting.
Oh, that live feature is unstoppable.
Yeah. That, and I don't normally tell people, I wouldn't want people to do this either, but police scan.
Smacked it with your cheeky.
Yeah. Police scanners are a good way to kind of keep your ear to the ground as to what's going on in these cities, because you could literally pick police scanners all over the country and listen to those. And we listened to a little bit of it today, and I believe it was in Philadelphia, correct?
Yeah. Hold on. The app I downloaded for Android from the Play Store is just called Police Scanner. Had the highest ratings. It's free. You can do nearby, which is in your local area, popular, and all. So I stuck to popular, and it shows you, like, right now, for instance, Chicago Police, citywide, number 6, 10,590 listeners. Trending ones that are on the rise: Philadelphia Police citywide. Riots, arson, looting, and attacks on police continue. Arrest orders have been issued. Live video, and then I give you a link. Buffalo Police is on the rise. Chicago. I mean, it's fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
Off the fucking chain.
So
check that out.
That's also a good way to keep track of everything, you know. And, you know, on the show, we tend to try to, like, glean with things like this the possibility that it was engineered.
Yeah.
Or that it was orchestrated in order to perpetuate some sort of narrative that they were trying to press.
Or at least advance their agenda in some way, shape, or form. Like, that was it a Facebook video you showed me yesterday where one of the legitimate protesters was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
He's in a city. Was it Philadelphia?
I don't know what city it was in.
Is it Philadelphia or Chicago, I feel like.
But him and his buddy are in this video. And they're like, there's the setup. It's a setup. They're in the middle of, like, a city center, right? It looks like the middle of a big city. And they're like, there is what's going on?
Nothing. Continue.
They're like, there is no construction going on. There's nothing going on down here right now. We're just peacefully protesting. Why is there a pallet of bricks by the bus stop?
They just so happened to leave a pallet of bricks.
They're like, trick no good.
And then the other video you told me about where the protesters, like, saw a guy come up. He was masked up and he started busting out windows.
And then they started following him, and he like went to leave.
He shook them.
And and they're like, "What's up, dude? Like, who you with?" Da, da, da. And he wouldn't talk to any of them. He just, like, got in his car and drove away.
I thought you were with us, friend. What's the matter? You don't want to talk?
So, I mean, it's one of those things where, like, I almost feel like, in a way, it's
agent provocateur.
But here's the thing: like, it's almost like I feel like they have an agenda, but the problem is that they can only press it when they can exploit an event that happened naturally, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not to say that there is not a serious fucking problem with police brutality, police aggression. I mean, I'm sure anybody listening right now has seen that video. And I'm no doctor, but I'm going to go ahead and assume that dude killed George Floyd.
Yeah.
He fucking, you don't, like, okay. Now, I will say that I know a lot about force, right? And how it's applied.
The application of force. I do know about that, and I'm here to tell you now that they do not train people to kneel on people's necks. No,
in fact, you're supposed to you're supposed to avoid that area altogether because
call it a red zone.
The neck is a tender boy.
Yeah,
I mean, you could have a thick neck.
It's vital to things like the brain.
Yeah, but there's some serious wiring in that area.
Yeah.
That should not be that is very sensitive and should not be tampered with.
So you're saying that the police departments that they worked for were probably trained on subject control as far as once they got the individual in handcuffs.
Okay, yes. We're talking about a man, okay, who
was a porn star apparently.
Yeah, but let's establish this right now. So, first question. And this isn't, I don't consider this victim blaming or anything like this. Why were the cops there? Because apparently he tried to pass off a fake $20 bill.
Oh, so it was currency banksterism.
A non-violent crime.
Exactly. Kind of like the dude that they choked to death for not paying his taxes on Lucy's.
So they cuff him, right? And as far as anybody should be concerned, when he was cuffed,
the threat's over.
The threat is over
Mostly.
with. Why were there 3 officers okay, so, and I think you said there was a TikTok video of a guy trying to prove, like, kneeling on somebody's neck necessarily wouldn't kill him, right?
Well, they were doxing a varsity wrestling coach.
Yeah, well, and that's what I said to that. I was like, okay, well, first of all, if you watch that video, I was like...
They didn't do it the same anyway.
Yeah, he didn't do it the same way, 1. And 2, George Floyd had 3 motherfuckers standing on him.
Yeah.
Okay?
They call that positional asphyxia.
Yeah. You're supposed to, when you cuff somebody up on their belly, you are supposed to turn them over immediately.
Into the recovery position.
Yeah, so that they can breathe.
Right. And I don't understand, we talked about this obviously, but you got one dude on the neck, 2 other ones wherever the fuck else.
It's like, that does not help. Like,
you're not,
yeah.
You're not waiting for backup, your backup's there, and he's in handcuffs. So what are you doing?
You got, not only that,
you killed him.
You got 3 guys sitting on him, and you got 1 guy just watching.
Right. Nobody stopped it.
Nobody said, hey, dude, why don't you get the fuck off his neck?
Yeah.
But here's the thing, like, it just, why, this isn't the first time.
No, and it won't be the last.
So the question, and first of all, I'm here to say now that the peaceful demonstrations, I am 100% behind.
Yeah.
This is a serious fucking the whole justice system in this nation is fucked. And I have said it once and I'll say it again. It specifically targets one racial subgroup in this country, more or less. But I feel like on the broader sense, it targets poor people in general.
Mm-hmm.
The whole justice system is designed to fuck over poor people, specifically African Americans.
Well, if you look at the 2 that we mentioned, this case and I forget the guy's name in New York that they choked to death on the street, the person selling cigarettes.
Eric Garner.
Okay, Eric Garner. So this guy...
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's his name.
This guy, for messing with bankster currency, right? Him for not adhering to taxes.
Yeah.
Like, you're literally murdering people. You're under the auspice that you protect and serve.
Yeah.
That all that. I'm a community servant. But yet you're enforcing banksterism.
Like,
taxation.
There's a part of me that wants to believe that there could be here's the thing. I think we talked about this the other day. It's why I like movies like The Untouchables and RoboCop.
Yeah.
When in the real world, I don't like cops.
Mm-hmm.
But
you like the idea of law.
I like the idea of law because in its purest form, it can to serve justice, true justice.
Basically, they're just there to protect.
But the thing is that we don't. That's it's so far. That's of all the things that they're supposed to be doing, that's usually the last thing that's considered. It seems like, but they're not. They're not and that's the thing. And then I think I talked about it too. I was like, in a lot of other countries. Here's the thing. I am not a big cop person. All right. But in a lot of other countries in the Western world, to be a police officer requires not just 6 months of academy training. It requires multiple years of training to become a police officer. To use one's weapon in the line of duty is a big fucking deal. Right?
For sure. What was the cop you told me about? That, where was he from?
It was Denmark.
Okay. He shot somebody and had to quit.
Yeah.
And it was legitimate.
Yeah, he was destroyed by the fact that he had to take a human life. Is that and you know what? To a further extent, I think a few years ago, I feel like I disparaged Black Lives Matter to an extent, but I think it came from a place of trying to wrap my head around it. But the thing is that I think in general, the price of human life in this country is cheap.
Yeah.
This shit happens all the fucking time. I'm glad that we're finally addressing it.
Yeah.
But
they're trying to control the narrative with all this agent provocateur shit.
Well, and that's the problem is that people have to understand, your anger is real.
Yeah. They're trying to direct it,
but they are directing it in a certain fashion
that protects them.
This is something that's been used in the past, and these police departments are using agent provocateurs, and because the thing is, the peaceful protesting, that's organic. And then, and they're angry. You're angry. Everybody's angry, right?
Apparently it's going down at the Green right now.
The Green?
The Green.
The
shopping, center area.
Where's that at? That's in...
Is it Beaver Creek?
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure where it is. I know it's close.
But,
sorry.
your anger is justified. And here's the thing, though. Like, when people are angry and they're upset, I tend to think of them as sharks, right? Mm-hmm. So you get these ancient provocateurs in there. And it's like we talked about. There was that guy who just started smashing windows, right?
Yeah.
And people who normally are being peaceful see this shit and fucking smell blood and water. And they go nuts too, right? I feel like that's what they're trying to gear towards anyways. They're trying to get them to fucking riot. Now, that's not to say there isn't people who are criminals who are taking advantage of this.
Oh, for sure.
For their own means.
They're definitely looting fucking shoe stores and fucking iPhone stores and shit.
But here's the thing, though. For one, when it comes to the big chain stores, I don't give a fuck.
No.
They're not going to go out of business because these motherfuckers are looting them. Now, when they are doing this, when people burn down, like, family-owned mom and pop fucking shops and shit like that, that's fucked.
Yeah. I told you about that video I saw.
Like, COVID has been bad enough on everybody.
When they talked about that guy from Rodney King, the LA riots. Yeah. Like, he was, like, crying. You know, they burned his store down. He's like, I came from the same hood you came from. I made it out. Why are y'all doing this to me?
There was a guy out of Minnesota that was like that just a few days ago. He was a African-American business owner.
Yeah.
Who came from nothing and built up.
Self-made.
He owned a bar, I think it was. And, they fucking looted them.
This shit, they don't have...
And this is coming off the fucking rim of all of this bull... it's almost like the COVID agenda and what they were doing during that...
was a setup.
Well, yeah, it had run its course.
Yeah.
So then they hit us... The murder hornets were awash.
Well, we heard earlier
but I feel like that might have just been like a little... It was like, you know how like if you go to a double feature at a drive-in...
Yeah, it was a second movie.
There's like a little cartoon in between the two movies.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
The Murder Hornets were a little cartoon like, let's all go to the lobby.
Sting the shit out of your body.
Yeah. Wow, you came up with that right off the fucking...
On the cusp.
On the cusp.
No, I want to expand on that though real quick because I honestly feel that way. I told you earlier, like, they literally used COVID to move in all their assets.
Yeah.
They had military movements all across the country. And that's the thing.
Now you have military in all these major cities in the U.S.
82nd Airborne on standby. We're playing it out right now. They're allowing it to get as bad as it will until people are like, where the fuck is the military? And that's all you had to say.
I was
Beetlejuice.
Yeah, we were talking to a friend of ours who works in aviation last night, and he said that there are predator drones in holding patterns over these cities. And you asked...
is it a UAV or an armed
And
vehicle?
I just gave you a look like, what do you think?
Yeah, they're already observing it, bro.
And I said, what is this? I was like, what does this feel like to you? It feels like... Because it made me think of Tulsa, Black Wall Street, where the U.S. military firebombed parts of predominantly African-American community.
That's a whole show in itself.
Man, well, yeah. Yeah.
The one thing I did hear that was distressing on, if you go to YouTube and look up live, like I just typed in Philadelphia and I went to the search filter and looked for live videos. They had a police helicopter and it was like zooming in on areas that were directly, and they also played the scanner over top of it. Mm-hmm. So like they were showing you what they were talking about. Well, they made several mentions to Homeland Security and what they were telling them from chatter. So they're monitoring everybody's cell phones.
Yeah.
They're recording everything from all these fucking cameras. Just because you got a mask on, I mean, shit. They're getting your face features anyway, your walking pattern, and your license plate. If you're dumb enough to drive a car into a target you're raiding, stupid. But like, they're gonna get these motherfuckers. I honestly think this is step 2. COVID was step 1. This is step 2. And like we talked about earlier, they're talking about shutting Walmarts down nationwide. Well, we've said before, I think on a show in the past, with the deal that Homeland Security made where they paid Walmarts to become FEMA camps.
You could literally move we talked about it before, they can move all the shelves with a pallet jack, right?
Pallet jack. They also, if you ever look and notice...
Or not a pallet jack, a skid loader.
A skid loader.
Yeah.
The way that they have their cameras set up, the way that they have these... I mean, it's no big deal. They could surround a Walmart. A lot of the roofs in these inner city Walmarts are already, like the entire shopping center that they're in are covered in barbed wire. Mm-hmm. Like, this shit's fucking going, like, live.
So you think that this whole thing is designed to round up these...
Camp FEMA, bro.
who are they rounding up there? Are they rounding up
We'll see.
Protesters?
We'll see. Just imagine if we had to have a police state in effect.
We already have a police state.
Well, I mean, like a full force, non-bullshit, like 24/7 police state. Like, not one that pretends to be protect and serve and shoot your dog occasionally, but like one it's like that movie. Is it Scanner Darkly?
Yeah.
With Keanu Reeves, Alex Jones, and all that. He's just driving down the fucking highway, gets pulled over, he's like, right remains. Fuck it. Bang.
Yeah.
You got a fucking cop in full riot battle rattle at the grocery store with a fully automatic weapon staring you down while you get grizzly wintergreen long cut.
You know, I saw something just a few minutes before we started the show. Someone posted on Twitter. Now, there are considerations to take with this take. I'll say that. But when it comes to the whole notion of a police state, right? You have, in the last 3 days, supposedly there's been 3,000 people arrested for this protesting, rioting shit, right?
Yeah.
Across the country, 3,000, right?
Right.
And we were losing our goddamn minds over the whole of months of protesting and marches in Hong Kong, 9,000 people. So in 6 days. So in 6 days, we've already got a third of what they had in a matter of months arrested.
Yeah.
Right? And we're disparaging the CCP, the Chi-Coms, right? But there are considerations to take with that take. Because I think the person who did it is a little bit naive. Because, first of all, you're talking Hong Kong doesn't have anywhere near the population that we have. You would have to, like, exponentially raise that mark. That's not to say there is not a serious problem. Like I said, the justice system is fucked. When you're supposedly the freest country in the world and you have the highest incarceration rate in the world, there's something to be said about that.
For sure. That, and you saw, like, the thing we talked about a few shows ago with COVID. Like, they're releasing pedophiles and fucking people who've been convicted of violent crimes in order to lock up people who are defying government orders that aren't even law.
Yeah.
For maintaining their businesses. I mean, we've made a change. We've crossed over a threshold.
Yeah.
Pool Stick Polly. I got in our group chat, we got a screenshot from Pool Stick Polly. Big Dick Daddy from the Natty, you know, that one. It's one of those Amber Alerts that comes across your phone. It says, emergency alert, extreme, May 31st, 6:03 p.m. Curfew in effect for all neighborhoods in city of Cincinnati tonight from 5/31/2020 and Monday 6/1/2020 from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. Basically, you step outside of your fucking house,
well, listen,
you're a criminal.
Yeah, you saw that. We both saw that video earlier where the National Guard's driving down the street for whatever city that is.
Yeah.
And people are just standing on their porch and they're like, get in outside, get in your house.
They shot somebody,
and they shot somebody on their fucking porch.
For sitting on their porch.
Do you know how many fucking videos and pictures I've seen just today of people who weren't even in the protests or anything, who got shot by fucking rubber bullets and shit. Right. This shit just goes on to prove more and more you do not deserve the powers that have been given to you, or the powers that at least you perceive you think you have. Who has the right to tell you as an adult citizen of this country that you have a fucking curfew?
No one.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
If I lived down there in Cincinnati, I would be like telling everybody, go the fuck out in the street.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit.
Stop me.
Fucking stop me. If everybody does it, they can't fucking stop you. They can't do fucking shit about it. Fuck them.
Everybody needs to check out Mark Passio, because he talked about this shit, and he's inevitably the one that red pilled us the full way. But, like, he breaks it down the best. He's like, the rights, you think your rights are things that are enumerated in the Constitution, that you're given those rights through that document. But really, a right is anything that you want to do that doesn't harm another person.
Yeah. And
no one has the right to tell you can't use a right.
The amendments to the government. Yeah. Everyone thinks that the amendments to the Constitution are rights that have been bestowed upon us by the government. That's actually in reverse. Your rights were always there. Those amendments,
or the Creator gave them to you.
Yeah, those amendments are there to try to stop the government from infringing upon those said natural rights. That's how it works. Mm-hmm. It's not, you have not been bestowed nothing by the government. You had them in the first place. You had them from the moment the sperm hit the egg, okay? You were a fucking entity, a spiritual being wrapped in flesh, fucking walking this earth.
It's all those sleepyhead motherfuckers, the Karens out there. No offense if your name's Karen and you're listening. I love you. But the mask wearers, the ones that have to wear it, the ones that wear them in their car, the ones that are thanking people like our fucking governor, DeWine, thanking him for protecting us by shutting down businesses and telling us to stand 6 feet apart. You know what I mean? Not having a fucking wedding
people definitely need to pick a lane here, because like I have been seeing people here lately who for the last few months have been praising all this fucking oversight that the government's been placing down us and admonishing people who defied it. Yeah. Right. And now all of a sudden they're all about these protesting and riots and da 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 da.
What are you gonna do?
And it's like, how does it feel being just I get duality, right?
Yeah.
But you are definitively a child of two brains. If you weren't if you weren't against all these fucking oversights and you're suddenly against authority now and what the government does, because here's the thing, cops are merely an extension of the government's supposed authority.
They're the government's fist.
Yeah.
They're people that are like you and me who have completely turned off their ability to do right and wrong. You see it all the time in these videos. Well, I don't make the laws, I just enforce them. You're literally giving up your free will, which is what Mark Passio says, like one of the only deadly sins that you can do. The only thing that you have as a being, and this is why I think we catch so much flack for hating cops from some people. Like, it's not that we hate cops on the level of like
an individual,
what's happening here, right? I hate cops because they literally, I can't think of the word. It's like they say one thing, but they're doing another. They say, and they make reference to, that they took an oath to uphold rights, to protect and serve, and yet you also signed on the dotted line to enforce every law. There are millions of laws. And how many of those laws, I'm going to go ahead and say 70% probably. That's just a shot in the dark. 70% of those laws have nothing to do with a victim.
Yeah.
They're just laws. They're laws that involve taxation of some type.
They're about the government exerting authority.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Stepping on your neck.
Yeah.
Allowing psychopaths to thrive and become murderers. That dude had bodies.
There's been some really good memes I don't like to think like
meme magic, bro.
Because like one I saw that was fucking powerful was a cop kneeling on the neck of the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
And I was like,
what about the one on the Gadsden flag where he's kneeling on the neck?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, well,
now's your time.
That leads to another meme that Mr. Vice President posted, and I saw in another place, and I thought, this is the most on-point, overpowered meme I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
It's a picture from Minneapolis outside the 3rd Precinct police headquarters as they were burning it, right? It was burning to the fucking ground. And there's all these protesters standing outside, and they're like cheering and shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the picture, someone memed it.
Sorry, continue. And
said, this is what "Don't Tread on Me" looks like.
Yeah.
Anybody out there who rocks a Gadsden flag or wants to act like they're on our level when it comes to like hating the government and defying it
and being a fucking free human being
needs to be about what's going on right now.
You need to be paying attention.
You can say, I don't like the looting. You know what I mean? I don't like them destroying businesses and things like that. But when it comes to burning down or flipping cop cars and burning buildings and shit like that.
Burning courthouses and police stations?
Yes. Your anger is justified.
Let's not forget.
Because we are the victims collectively as the lower caste of this nation. Because trust me, we are most of us, the fair majority is part of a caste that are the only ones that had to abide by these so-called laws that they've bestowed upon us. You know, you get your Jeffrey Epsteins of the earth with billions of dollars. He can fucking molest and rape people all he wants.
That's the guy that didn't kill himself, right?
Yeah, and virtually defy the laws that supposedly they're under just as much as we are.
They just pay someone to talk to a man in a robe and it all goes away.
So we have to experience, they are above it. They are beyond it, right? They don't have to fucking be a part of this fucking brutal machine, this so-called justice system that the rest of us have to endure.
Slavery.
Like a proverbial fucking constant pandemic, epidemic, COVID, whatever the fuck you want to call it, that we have to endure. You guys are fucking above it. You're the only ones that are immune to it because you got enough money to fucking be immune to it in the first place.
Mike DeWine's bitch ass had a great Easter, I bet, with his family.
Yeah.
Well, how many of you stayed at home for fear of this or that? You know what I mean? I don't know. I saw a video earlier somebody sent to us on Instagram from England. Mm-hmm. And it's awesome because, I mean, they still have a crown. But, they had literally fucking packed the streets with peaceful protesters. And the cops are hiding like bitches behind a gate. And they're screaming, "Who do you serve? Who do you serve? Who do you serve?" And then they went, "Fuck the police." Like, for real, man. Like, I can't stop getting these goddamn police scanner updates. But I wanted to share with you also a funny meme, because in these times, comedy is very funny. Mm-hmm. The El Presidente sent us this one. It won't pause. God damn it. It's a picture of the riot from a live stream, and somebody wrote, "We ain't never getting that second stimulus check."
That's funny.
I don't know, man.
But yeah,
you can't call for violence, because that would be wrong. I will say this.
Man, listen. If there's ever been a time...
It's tactful. You got to be tactful. That's why I'm being tactful.
All I'm going to say is that if there has ever been a time I've been close to being like, fuck it.
Climbing in the big igloo?
Yeah. It's on us.
Just wait till it happens here. They've already started to move into the suburbs of Chicago.
I told you what the next step, like what it's going to be. What was my breaking point?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when, because we already have the militaries in the cities. What happens when the military starts fucking shooting without discretion? We all know what happens when we mix like, there was a reason that we had posse comitatus for so long.
They just saw fit to get rid of it with the National Defense Authorization Act of whatever fucking year that was.
Yeah. I mean, anytime, like, when has interactions between the military and the civilian populace gone right?
Before we go too far, what is posse comitatus? Let them know.
Well, posse comitatus is a law that was passed during or shortly after the Civil War.
Yes.
To ensure that the U.S. military could not police U.S. citizens.
No police duties allowed from the military.
Yes.
And keep that in mind for the next phase, because Trump said it best. He lets you know, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. He's already authorized. They're literally waiting for you to cry out for the military, because they can't do it off the rip. Otherwise, people have a crazy reaction. They're like, "Man, these cities have been on fire for how many fucking days? Where's the goddamn military at?"
Yeah.
And then they're right there.
Fucking man, let them burn. You can always rebuild. You know?
I don't know.
And that's the thing, like, you think back to, like, headier times. I'd say, what was that? Probably about 2000, 2009, 2010. Remember the Occupy Wall Street demonstrations?
Yeah.
And how those just, like, fizzled out and went nowhere. And then ever since then, we've never really had mass demonstrations against crony capitalism that goes on in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, they've always geared it towards race wars, because the way they look at it, like, there's always going to be, like, when you start talking about, hey, and it's kind of strange to me, like, people are like, hey, maybe cops should stop shooting black people so much. And of course, someone's got to be like, what does that have to? What does their race have anything to do with it?
Well,
hold on a minute there, bud.
Here's what I'll say about that, and I agree. Statistically, you see it, right?
Yeah.
They affect, like you said, it's poor people, it's black people. They're the more apt to receive these punishments.
Mm-hmm.
But on the whole, if you will, apply that mental preparation age, and think about this. This is exactly what they want, though. I've always been against Black Lives Matter and all those groups, because you're allowing them to put you into a categorization. It's harder for you and I to get along as a nation if you're Black Lives Matter and I'm All Lives Matter, because I'm a racist and you're Black Power in each other's minds. You have to come together as one.
How about, like, we change it to Poor People Matter?
People matter.
People matter.
Fuck the cops.
Yeah.
You've literally turned off your humanity when you put that uniform on.
And that's the thing, though. Like, I get what you're saying is that even of itself, the term Black Lives Matter can seem divisive.
Yeah. Think about Scott Adams when he talked about how he made Dilbert. He didn't give Dilbert a last name, because if he named him Dilbert, like Horowitz, people that were anti-Semitic wouldn't like it.
Well, but then again, you have organizations that don't rely on having, like, dividing a subgroup, but they have their own agendas too, like Antifa, where they are
government paid.
That and they're communists.
Oh, yeah, communists.
Like, and it's like one of those things. It's like, oh wow, you don't like fascists? That's crazy. I don't like them either. But you know what I also don't like?
Fascists.
I don't like collectivism either, motherfucker.
I don't like communist fascists who can be fascistic and then pretend that they're not.
Because you're still using force to compel your agenda.
What do you think they're doing?
And
now?
let me tell you something out there. If you're part of that Antifa thing, or you're a devout communist, or what have you, or a collectivist, a socialist, what have you, understand this. You think that you're going to be part of the Red Guard revolution, and you're going to be some part of the propaganda wing, or in some sort of form of media helping the great state. But let me tell you something. You're going to be digging potatoes like some other asshole. You're going to have no fucking choice in the matter. Don't kid yourself. The people...
We're all going to be poor.
Yeah, the people who are in charge now, those type of people are going to continue to be in charge.
Yeah, you're not changing the system.
You changed nothing.
You're giving them carte blanche to rob us 100%.
By saying... And not only that... They have officially like claimed you by saying that you should be grateful that the state provides, right? Because
the state's the only thing that can protect you or serve you properly,
and that your whole devotion should go towards serving the state, serving the collective. And if you don't, you're not social. You're a selfish asshole.
I'm going to go ahead and say this. We're going to dip into the Bones and Tubs checking account, and if you are a communist or an Antifa member or an agent provocateur of any kind, or someone that just loves the state, I want you to send me a video to our Gmail, bonesandtubs@gmail.com, of you running the car in the garage with the door closed for about 15, 20 minutes.
Fascists can do the same thing.
Right, fascists can also.
Fascists can too.
If you're any of those categories of people that hate freedom and individual liberty, I want you to send me a video, a selfie if you will, of yourself in the garage with the car running, with the garage door shut, for about 15, 20 minutes, and then I'll send you a $1,000 Amazon gift card.
Can we throw in... Can we also throw in supremacists?
Just jokes. We probably just got removed from whatever platform. So.
Can we also throw in like any kind of supremacist whatsoever?
Yeah, anybody that's not about leaving me the fuck alone and leaving other people the fuck alone and just living your life and thriving.
I feel like without like all these different, like between the media, social media, and everything else, because that's the thing, like if you actually sit down and talk to somebody, right? For the most part, people are like, I just want to live in peace with my family.
Yeah.
Right? There are people out there who are the rogue elements, but here's the thing though, and this is the thing everybody needs to understand. Those people who don't want that life, they don't just want to live in peace with their family and raise their family and grow to an old age, they're in the minority.
Mm-hmm. Most
of us feel that way. I could give fuck else, and this goes back to Passio and all that. I give fuck else how you live your fucking life. You're not hurting anybody, you're just living your fucking life. You're not, even if it's just you hurting yourself. I could give less than a fuck.
You have the right.
You have the right to hurt yourself. I'm not going to stop you. I don't care. I want to live my life in peace. You know what I mean? And I'm sure a lot of these people demonstrating and shit do too. But they continue to see their fucking children get choked to death by with knees on their goddamn necks. You know what I mean? Like, or getting shot.
Growing up in a school system that, like our high school, was built like a prison. I'm sure every other high school is built the same way. With Pavlovian conditioning, you're being conditioned to go into a machine that's either a prison, a factory, or the military.
Yeah.
And when you're done with all that, you get to run the risk of walking out and getting killed by a cop.
Yeah.
Because you weren't doing something that they wanted you to do.
And if you somehow make it out of that system
and get a business,
or you defy it and you have some sort of talent and you raise up in the world, well, then they just exploit you. And then they blackmail you into serving whatever agenda they want to serve.
Right.
You know what I mean? They get you caught in a situation. We talked about this before.
Fourth dimensional chess.
Yeah, they get you caught in a situation where they can basically bury you if ever come to fruition.
You don't want this $100 billion, and you're not going to do what we tell you to do. What about these pictures?
Yeah, like, hey, you're going to do whatever the fuck we want you to do, or we're going to give the world these pictures, and you're going to get fucked.
Just a couple quick rabbit holes I want to mention before I forget.
Okay.
If you go to a search engine that's not Google, DuckDuckGo.com is a great one, not a sponsor, and type in Walmart's closing on the news feed. Just feast your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Feast your eyes. Also, tie that in with what we just went through with all the businesses changing their hours, right? For this fake-ass COVID shit. This is the perfect smokescreen for what's about to happen with the food shortages and the currency collapse and the depression. So whatever they've got planned, I feel as if they are on course They are leading us where we want to be led, and whatever happens with the food shortage, people starving, financial collapse, whatever it might be, they have everything to blame it on. Well, it was really a shaky situation, and then we had all these riots, and then we had the COVID. Don't forget about the COVID. They're literally setting you up for austerity. They're already talking about negative interest rates at the bank.
Yeah.
Austerity, Agenda 2030. That's what we're getting set up for right now. It's fucking crazy to be living in it, man.
Yeah. 2020 has it's definitely been swinging its dick around since the very beginning. I'll tell you that right now.
We got a funny message I wanted to read too. I almost forgot about it.
Okay.
Matt Lintz on Instagram. I said he was talking about the book going worldwide, and he's the one that sent us that England video I told you about. I said, I'm so fucking excited for this episode. He said, me too. Insert Michael Jackson popcorn meme here. So glad COVID happened. Forced me to get all my preps done for the book. Silver linings.
Well, and here's the thing I think people need to put in perspective too, is if you really want to get serious about this, going after the police, they're the puppets.
Yeah.
Right. They're
danger puppets, though.
They're the proverbial, if I'm going to reference back to George Orwell's 1984, they're the dogs that Napoleon trained.
That's Animal Farm, my dude.
What did I say?
1984.
Well, okay. I meant Animal Farm.
I know. So did they.
I don't know how the fuck I even said Animal Farm in my head before I said it.
I said Norman Heemeyer last week.
Okay.
You know, we do that here. We're not professionals.
The dogs that Napoleon trained to basically be
took them as cute puppies, and they just disappeared for a while to get trained.
And then they show up and fucking wreck it.
Vicious
and run
dogs.
Snowball off. Okay, those are them, right? So if we really want to hit them where it hurts, we have to start going for the puppet masters. But here's the problem with that.
They're pigs.
Is some of the puppet masters are the ones perpetuating this violence in the first place.
Yeah.
Right? To push their own agendas. You know, if you really wanted to affect things, you're going to go after the puppet masters. You're going to go after your George Soroses of the world and your
Bill Gates.
Your Bill Gates and people like that. But we don't want to have that conversation yet. We're cops, as far as I'm concerned, are the proverbial low-hanging fruit of this situation.
It's where the rubber meets the road.
Yeah, they're not the ones
from the giant dig wagon that they're driving around.
Now,
the country.
that's not to say, and we talked about before, that they don't have their own. They haven't. It's not like they're innocent.
No,
they're order followers.
Yes,
they follow these orders, and at the end of the day, if history will tell you anything, when you're sitting on the stand as the defendant, saying that you were just following orders is never an excuse.
Right. Pascal, again, Mark Pascal, to say it best, he said that he has no problem. I'm going to paraphrase.
Yeah. He
has no problem with a violent revolution, as far as if it comes to that. He's like, but I'm using every ounce of my being to make it a non-violent revolution. We don't want a violent revolution because nobody has fathomed fully what that would look like. You're killing your family. You know, it's literally like Civil War 2020.
Yeah.
Brother against brother type shit. And my message to the cops is this, or a cop apologist. Think about what you're doing, because at the end of the day, if you even have 1 ounce of your fucking being that tells you what you're doing is wrong, you have the chance to stop this without any more blood.
Yeah.
You just have to say no.
Yeah.
No is the most powerful word in the English language.
Like I said with this whole curfew in Cincinnati. If everybody just walked out into the street of their house at night.
Fuck you.
And said, fuck you.
Yeah.
We're not doing it.
Let's have a barbecue. Let's bring everybody together.
There's not a goddamn thing they could do about it.
Nothing. Suck my dick.
That's the thing we have to remember.
Bring a citywide paddy wagon.
We, the people, hold the power.
Yes, and the people includes the cops. To say no, N-O, you must first K-N-O-W,
you know
no.
What's crazy is that's something I've been seeing too, is cops stepping over the line and being like...
Standing with them.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
This situation in Minnesota was fucked.
There's a lot of cops on TikTok saying the same thing.
George Floyd was murdered.
Yeah.
His murderer is now luckily in custody.
But that's not the reason this is happening.
It took way too long.
Yeah.
That dude got to sit in his home for days.
Fuck his wife.
I swear to God, if he fucking walks.
Oh, he will.
If he fucking walks, man.
They'll wait. He'll walk. Just like all the others. If this system's allowed to continue, he'll walk.
This man will not live a peaceful day for the rest of his life.
He shouldn't.
No, he shouldn't. And, you know, and you can even look back at this dude's record.
Mm-hmm.
This dude has. This is just the last incident on his record. This dude has had a history of fucking abusive behavior.
Yeah, he has a pattern of abuse. I just want everybody to share this episode from the bottom of my fucking heart. Yeah. And I want everybody to look and do not be subjugated and put in these boxes. It's not black and white. It's people.
Yeah.
Stop letting them suck on you.
And the thing is, we all live different lives.
Yeah.
And I strive to try to understand other people's perspectives.
For sure.
And I understand some people have their struggles. And their struggles I'll never understand.
Right.
But to understand...
Due to the socioeconomic situation you were jizzed into, to put it bluntly.
Yeah. But understand that I am not in any way against you. No. I try to empathize and feel your struggle too.
Don't harm me and I won't harm you.
Yeah. And if I can, I will help you.
Yeah.
Okay. That's the thing. We have to care for each other.
That's it. Capital C care.
Because
capital G care.
I would hope it would seem blatantly obvious to most of us the government isn't going to care for us.
The government never has nor ever will care for you.
Like, don't think that there's going to be any genuine change unless we make it happen. Don't think that your legislators and your lawmakers are going to make anything better, because they're not. They never have and they never will. Because the thing is, this chaos and this anger are things that they thrive off of because because they can use it to fucking
put more laws on the books.
Put more laws on the books and win elections and make more money.
And get
That's
more money.
all they care about.
Get more money to their dogs.
I mean, think about it like this. You look at somebody like Joe Biden, right? He puts his 2 cents into this shit. This motherfucker has been working in government for over 40 years, something like that.
His adult life. He's never had a job.
And what has changed?
Nothing.
He
got richer. We got poorer.
And that goes for all of them.
Yes.
Not both sides of the aisle. It doesn't matter.
Everybody.
Democrat, Republican, these motherfuckers that have been in it for years, and this shit's still the same.
Another thing that I think...
They ain't changed a goddamn thing.
I think that they should look out for on the micro level. We're talking about macro with Biden and these other faggots. But like on the micro level, if these groups... I haven't actually looked into it yet as far as individual groups who's participating, or if it's just pandemonium. I doubt it's just pandemonium. Mm-hmm. There has to be some Antifa. There has to be some Black Lives Matter. There's organizations, right? Mm-hmm. Organizations are directing this shit as far as where we go, where we meet, what time we meet, all that shit. They're the ones Homeland Security is monitoring. But the leaders, watch the leaders, because sometimes when they're ready to pull back or they're ready to change shit, a new leader emerges. Mm-hmm. And he has a message. And he tries to lead you a certain way. They want to promote right now destroying the fucking Foot Lockers, Family Dollars, like local mom and pop fucking groceries and shit. But that's to misdirect their anger.
And not only that, it galvanizes certain groups against them because they're like, what the fuck did... what did Target or fucking Foot Locker or Arby's or whatever the fuck?
Listen,
what did they have to do with this? No. Don't why like, because it galvanizes people against them, right? Because they're like, what does this have to do?
Target can eat all the dicks.
Now flipping cop cars and burning down precincts.
Yeah, that's where it should be.
Yeah,
hypothetically,
because
that's you fighting power. You going and tearing up a Target and stealing shit from Target. While I fucking hate Target because of their stance on me carrying a concealed firearm or an open carry firearm in a Target,
it just makes you look bad, and it ostracizes you from most of the population because that's the vibe I'm getting from most people.
Yeah,
like people who I never really considered people who would question. Like I always thought they were on one side of things, and now they're like, no, that dude killed him.
Yeah,
people should be angry. They should be protesting, but.
They're delegitimizing. Is that right?
But the problem is they're delegitimizing this whole thing.
The organic rage and hatred for the system.
Because like it puts a barrier there because you're like, I agree with the peaceful protesting and the anger.
Right.
I do not but then like, well,
the only coverage,
I don't agree with the looting and all the other stuff that goes with it.
The only coverage that they're getting right now and the narrative that the media is trying to push. For the most part, is that it's crime and lawlessness.
Yeah.
Except for CNN, because they're over there sucking their own dick or something.
They fucking defaced the CNN building.
Good.
Yeah.
Fuck them. But don't let them just take it and ride the wave, because this is an opportunity, and they're super good at jujitsuing this shit. or judoing, I guess, taking your momentum and throwing you in the direction they want you in.
And if you see somebody that you've never seen before suddenly show up, black clad, mask, what have you, and start
put them down,
trying to direct the attention towards something,
or doing some shit, throwing bricks, throwing a Molotov, throwing rocks at the cops,
ignore them.
That's an old, or stop them. That's the one of the things back, like the first time I got hip to Agent Provocateur, I don't even remember the year, early 2000s, they had a WTO protest in Philadelphia, oddly enough, and these cops were just standing there, hard as fuck. They had LRAD weapons, but they had to wait because it was peaceful protesters. They were doing some serious psychological shit to these cops.
Yeah,
because the cops had blocked off the area for these globalist cunts to go have their meeting, and these motherfuckers are standing there with mirrors in front of the cops. So the cop's staring back at himself like, man, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
But then they had their cops dress up as protesters and throw rocks. So then they had that authorization to beat that ass. And they literally chased these fucking people into like parking garages where they had no escape and they were shooting with tear gas.
Yeah.
Some torture shit.
Fuck
that.
Don't let your anger blind you from that kind of shit.
The secondary Google search that I wanted everybody to look up just for my own selfish purposes.
And just FYI, if you are out there protesting, understand, I've seen it a lot, people using milk for OC pepper spray or tear gas. I wouldn't advise using those things.
The only thing that's going to help you is air. Dry it up.
I've also heard for tear gas, water. Just flushing it with water helps. Also, I know this is kind of gross, but if you, I hear that if you take a rag or something around your face when it comes to tear gas, if it's soaked in urine, it neutralizes the tear gas. I know that's gross, but
sounds like pissing on a jellyfish sting.
As Dave Chappelle once said, modern problems require modern solutions.
Welcome to Pop Copy. So what I want everybody to search in these cities, I'm sure I know at least a few that are in Detroit and Philadelphia, the places where it's really, I mean, it's going down everywhere, but if you're in one of these hot spots, I want you to God damn it. They're in my brain. I want you to search on DuckDuckGo, ELF weapons or sonic weapons, because they've had like 40 or 50 patents on the books. They've admitted to it. They've tested it. It works. They can use standard cell phone towers, not even 5G. Who the fuck knows what those are doing?
Yeah.
But they can change a frequency on those and give everybody in that broadcasting area a certain feeling as far as increased rage, increased anxiety, increased fear. Let me know how you feel. That's just something that hit me earlier while I was staring into the sun.
I think that about wraps it up for us.
Yeah, I think we hit it all. Hopefully everybody's prepared, because if they're going to shut all these stores down, like we're back to it again. Go back to our prepper episode, things you need to get on Amazon, you know.
Yeah. And also, you know, I care about all of you out there.
Yes.
I want you to stay safe. These cocksuckers are being extrajudicial as fuck now.
Yeah.
And the thing is apparently these rubber bullets are fucking people up.
Yeah, they're less than lethal.
Yeah, less than lethal.
Doesn't mean that they're not lethal.
That's not to say that there's people losing eyes and shit.
Maiming you. Yeah.
They will maim you.
Take one of those to the eyeball and tell me how that treats you.
Yeah. So we want you all to stay safe out there. You know, we're coming out of this tumultuous time, so if you like the show and you want to lend your support, you could always go over to Patreon.
Patreon.com/bones and subs.
Just $1, you know. Or you could do we're on Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App. If you want to get a hold of us, you could always email us.
bonesandsubs@gmail.com.
You could also hit us up in the DMs on Instagram.
Instagram.com/bones and subs.
Or Facebook.
Facebook.com/bones and subs.
We're here to listen, you know. But you can hit us up on all those things and let us know what you think about the episodes. If you haven't yet, you need to go over to YouTube.
YouTube.com/bones and tubs show.
Hit the subscribe button. We've got quite a few subscribers here in the last week.
Hit the bell. You never know when we're going to go live or put a new video out.
Yeah.
Speaking of PayPal. So anyway, we received a $100 PayPal from someone the other day. If you're that person, go ahead and shoot us an email so we can see what happened. I don't even have the email in our email anymore. It's not been deleted. It's not in our inbox. It's not on our PayPal. But whatever the fuck happened there, we were going to give you a shout out. So there's that.
All right.
We also, the last shout out is the TeePublic store site link on our Instagram.
Yeah.
If you go to instagram.com/Bones and Tubs and check out the link in our bio, I uploaded all the new logos. And in these tumultuous times, if you're not affected yet directly by these, riots across the country or the military trying to check your butthole, get yourself a mask. I purchased one. It's in the mail. It's got, your standard mask that will allow you to go throughout society as the sheep slave that we are. Yeah. But it's got our logo on it. It says Bones and Tubs Podcast and fuck the man. If you hate your boss, if you hate the system, check it out. We get a very small amount of money. I think it's like $2.
Yeah. But before we go, I'd like to thank Blood of the Brave for letting us use his music on the show.
bloodofthebrave.com, Blood of the Brave Bandcamp, Blood of the Brave on all the socials.
I'd like to thank...
and on YouTube.
JNY5. What's the website called?
I need to write that down. Oh, you're talking about JNY5 Internet Studios. JNY5.com. Minimalist Anarchy.
He makes our covers for our episodes, which have been premium as of late.
So good. I look forward to the episode just so I can look at his work.
We'd like to thank y'all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Hope you're safe.
We hope you're safe. We hope between now and then you stay safe.
Yeah.
We hope you come and join us next time on the show.
We can't wait.
I think we're gonna try to pump out one more episode before I go.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and then
we got Teen Wolf lined up for one. We got a Violent one lined up.
But there'll be a couple guest stars while I'm gone because I will be on my honeymoon. But we'd like to thank y'all for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show, and between now and then, you guys stay safe out there.
Send Mr. Tubbs here your psychic or physical love. He's about to get married. About to go on his honeymoon. Be gone for 3 weeks. Doing the good work down there. America's penis.
White sand beaches and whatnot,
Dodging Molotov cocktails, trying to get a sunburn,
Yeah, exactly.
But wish him the best for him and his new wife. That's exciting.
And me and Tobeans finally tying the knot.
Getting her down. You paid her dad the dowry of a goat.
Oh, yeah.
Now she's your property.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because that's how that works.
I'm pretty sure that's how it works. I don't know.
All right. We'll talk to you guys next time.
We love you.
We really do.
Fuck the blue line and everything they claim. The cops are the world's most dangerous gang. Most dangerous gang who will put you in chains. Fuck the blue line and everything they claim. You can lie if you want, but see me, I don't need. All I need is all I have, and for that I will bleed. For those who'll take the stand, not the one in the box. Fuck the judge in this system, backed up by the cops. Dirty ass henchmen pitching pennies out of pockets. If you question them at all, I pull out the rocket. Reaching in the trigger, fingers been on the ready. That's why the people are shaking, cause they know that they're deadly. To get promoted, to do what they need. That's why they're locked and loaded, it will put you on your knees. Nah, it don't matter your age, race, or creed. We're all considered the enemy, cause we wanna be free. It's open season and the reason ain't new. It's old as the ways that control me and you. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Here's a list you piss, probably now you ain't read it. Just wait until they cuff your wrist, I bet then you'll see it. Live in your face, tell me how that makes taste like shit. When they mix in that taser from the waist, they pack it to pull it, and they got them to use them, and you pay for it. All the new tanks and guns, new toys everywhere. They're like kids at Christmas, running downstairs with your name on the hit list. Boom, they unwrapped the box and left shells at your door. Then they broke the locks from up top. They'll strike and got you in sights. That sniper's a bitch, it will take away your life. They shoot when they want, just cowards with power, and no different than the ones who took the Jews off the showers. Oh yeah, I said it. Fuck their excuses, they're clueless and useless, and way beyond ruthless. Just jackboot thugs who get paid to obey orders to kill you or put you in a cage. If you don't think it, just do what you're told. Your conscience is dead, you don't have a soul. That's why it's easy for them to murder, rob, and steal, cause they're already dead, nah, they can't feel. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Brat, brat, I back them down with the sound. Fuck the blue line and everything they claim. The cops are the world's most dangerous gang. Most dangerous gang who will put you in chains. Fuck the blue line and everything they claim. Fuck the blue line and everything they claim. The cops are the world's most dangerous gang. Most dangerous gang who will put you in chains. Fuck the blue line and everything they claim.